What is the most valuable skill in 2026? It's not just one skill, but multiple skills. We can summarize it on some rather general words. It's about being adaptable, communications skills, learning speed, AI literacy, and critical thinking. And we're gonna also go into a couple topics a little bit deeper. I think we should also mention here that creating content and being good in marketing and sales is also very valuable. But let's just jump in adaptability. What do I mean with that? You should be able to adapt to different surroundings pretty quickly. So our world is changing very quickly, and it's not enough to have one thing and stick with that, but you need to always a little bit change the offer on what you're doing so it's still attractive, because AI is coming, or AI is here, and it's still disrupting each and different parts of businesses. And if, for example, they're gonna do street interviews so realistically that I don't need to do that anymore, I need to switch up my offering, that I need to maybe focus on creating street interviews with AI. So yeah, this is what I mean with adaptability. Then next part is communication. Communication is important to be able to transfer your thoughts as precise as you have them to someone else's mind. How can you learn something like that? By talking with other people and by reading books or just reading literature around certain topics you want to get more knowledgeable about. And it's still, in the world of AI, it's a lot about human to human connection, where if you have a concept in your brain, then you should be able to best express it to someone else. Maybe you had in past times, or just probably yesterday or today, a scenario where you wanted to explain some idea to somebody else, but you just didn't find the words. How did it feel? I myself had this in the past much more often because I wasn't a great communicator. I grew up talking German and Hungarian and then learning English, so I right now can speak German and English very fluently. Hungarian, still I'm good at it, but in my family we spoke at home German and Hungarian, and it was a very hard time for me to start getting better at German and then actually getting better at English. And I often had scenarios where I just couldn't express myself in a way that I wanted to. You maybe see some scenes in TV where somebody expresses themselves so eloquently, with so much charm, and of course it's acting, but when you had the chance to make something similar and somebody just misunderstands you, how did this feel? For me, it's horrible. Also, if you're the thing, what is missing right now to you and to me to reach my goals is to be able to ask for that specific thing the right person. And if you have that ability, then I would be much farther away, but we still need our learning process because our brain just doesn't adapt so much. We are living in our past with our brain and need to create with that the future and come up with new concepts. Then, next thing is learning speed. What do I mean by that? It's similar to being adaptable. So, for example, a startup founder, a startup friend from mine, he said that he oftentimes kicks out people from his company that are just too slow to understand new concepts or just communicating something, because it just costs him so much time to explain some things multiple times. People are either ignorant or just are stupid, and it's just costing time. And also from Mark Zuckerberg, I noticed that he loves to hire just brute force intelligent people because they can adapt to new situations so quickly. They can get into new topics very quickly. So if you know the basics of everything modern, like coding, AI, marketing, sales, then you can orient yourself so much around different topics and understand them, create solutions, and move on. And this is much more valuable than being the shit about one topic but not being able to understand new concepts or communicate with people outside of your genre. And this also brings us to this fourth topic, which is AI literacy. So if you look on the job requirements in this rather weak job market right now in 2026, then you see that most positions want you to understand how AI works. You maybe already saw that Salesforce is expecting to spend a lot, I think 300 million on AI tools, and no, just tokens. And this is not just happening with Salesforce, but also with all of the other companies that just adapting to this new world where machines do part of our thinking. And there, our skill of critical thinking gets much more important, of understanding what does AI mean and how can I adapt that to myself while being authentic. For example, I just wrote a LinkedIn post, and in the video I shared, and it was just an interview with somebody else, and the camera just went off. It moved shortly away, and then I turned it back on. And it's just a bleeper or blooper that happens. And AI wouldn't understand that, but this is something of human value. If you put some attention onto that in the written text on LinkedIn, then people will understand, hey, there is an actual human behind that writing it, and this is the feeling I wanted to create. So people are not just reading machine's text, but actually of somebody who wrote it. And that's why I mentioned, hey, oh my god, sorry for not being able to handle that new camera completely correctly. And this is part of critical thinking, but also on just being able to understand, okay, is this something of importance or not? And moving on, next topic is marketing and also sales. Maybe you can put this in one category, but marketing is, it's of course very clear in what marketing and sales is. It's also my main topics I'm working in, because if you really think deeply about business, then it's always about having attention on something you're selling. And yeah, you can just also say, okay, I don't need marketing, I just need sales. Then you can say that you're prospecting people on LinkedIn by email, by phone, or whatever, or in person, and pitch them something. And then you need some materials that you can show most of the time, which is then the marketing part. Maybe some real estate photos or a real estate listing, which is also, if it's just a stupid website, it's marketing rather, not on the sales side. And if you also, for example, look for CEOs, mostly they are detached from the day-to-day activities from a business, but they for sure know on how the sales are going, because without sales, without transactions, there is no business. And this is that entrepreneurs just understand at one place. And yeah, let me know what you think about my list. I will go on with this list if new things come to my mind, but I think for now this is pretty much wholesome. Also, without just being too conceptual, I also mentioned some more specific things. And yeah, let me know what you think about them in the comments.